Hello guys, NautoAisDx here once again, and hopefully this is going to be the last one, the very last video on BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So of course, if you heard on my follow-up that February 15, I guess at 5 p.m. there was a press event basically about this game at San Francisco. It was an invite only, but of course, Arc System Work Universe basically tweet a lot of what the information is. So finally, it finally revealed all the information that people wanted: dual language, the pricing, the structure, how they're gonna present this game on May 31st in Japan, and in America June the 5th. So yes, it's already been talked about, so yes, I am jumping the bandwagon, but I just want to give my personal thought of the matter is, and of course, if you know me, I've been doing a lot of videos. I'm a great supporter of Japanese game adding English dub. Lately, there have been companies who they omitted it, and I mean, most common reason is it was cost, they're not making any money, so they're doing whatever it takes to cut costs so they can provide the game outside of Japan. And if they can't do that, well, of course, well, the game's not going to be released. You know that argument, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to give my personal opinion on the event, on basically what they announced, my own personal opinion about it. So with that, let's go. So, of course, what you're looking here is the website, the actual US website of Arc System Works, and I clicked on the information on BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So already you notice there, right here, already the subtitle is BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, dual audio and pricing details announced. So yes, so you know what? Let's just get it out of the room, the big elephant in the room. Is this game gonna will have English dub? And the answer is yes. The game will have English dub, both Japanese and English. And I know they kind of didn't really say much. Probably it's also a possibility in visual characters you can change it to the Japanese or English voice. They kind of done that with Street Fighter Cross Tekken, also in Street Fighter 5, and I think in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 you can do it. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, apparently they couldn't. Who knows? So yeah. So a lot of Marvel vs. Capcom mostly cater to the Western audience versus the Eastern audience. Different story there. But yeah. So yes, it's official. My worry about this game, yes, it is official that the game will have dual audio, Japanese and English. Thank you, because the last game in this franchise, to some extent, had an English dub was BlazBlue Chrono Phantasm Extend was the latest one, the last one. And everybody knows they did this during in 2016. BlazBlue Central Fiction did not have a dub, and a lot of people, including myself, were upset. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Patrick Swayze, Christina V was also disappointed. Patrick Say gave his opinion. I know I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but I just have to mention that. Okay, relax, not to waste, relax. So I am happy this one has dual dub, or dual language, but especially English dub. Because again, I'll probably talk about Central Fiction a bit later here, but let's focus on this one. I'm trying to focus on this one. So whoever the voice actor is going to be, for me at this point on, it doesn't really matter. It would be nice the old cast can be back for BlazBlue, Persona 4 Arena, especially in Ruby. You know, hopefully them. So again, but if they need to hire somebody new, hey, you know, for me personally, I'm okay with that. As long as they have English language, English dub in the game, hey, I'm cool. So I don't really care who's voice who. It just have to make sense. And how good you are, you know what? I don't care. Secret of Mana remake doesn't really have that good of a dub, but I can live with it. It's not an end of the world. So, but the best thing about this is in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is one, Ace, one of the characters that's debuted in Central Fiction. She was in a spin-off BlazBlue, well, a visual novel type game. She was one of the main characters there, and that game basically did not have an English dub. And because you gotta keep in mind, the publisher was a.k.a. Games, and again, I know a friend who works there, so I really can't sort of give my opinion about the company. But yes, they are known for not dubbing games whatsoever. They barely can dub games, unless if the game is English, but they don't really dub games whatsoever. Guilty Gear and BlazBlue are the only one, which is again it's a miracle for them because they have admitted they're not that big. Most of the games they publish, they can't ever provide English dub. They already said it. So with that said, the most interesting besides S having finally an English voice actress are the 4 characters, and including of course the DLC Unel characters. I don't know the long name, Underbirth, Rebirth, again, you know what, enough. I'm just gonna say Unel. Finally in 2018 they will have an English voice. Yeah, English voice. The latest one that a.k.a. game basically released for the PS4, Unel Dream 2.0. Again, I forgot the title. I have the PS3 version. I'll eventually probably get the PS4 in the long run when it goes cheap. That's the reason why. Yeah, that one doesn't have an English dub. People did ask, and again, a.k.a. Games can't afford it. So thank you, Arc System Work for the English dub. So finally, S gonna have an English voice actress. I can't wait to hear her. And Unel characters. Thank you. And it's still awesome. The Ruby characters also will have English voice. Of course, why not? So that's the elephant in the room. I'm happy about it. Praise the goddess of Neptunia. So now the price. So the base game is gonna cost $50, whether it's physical or digital. Okay, so I'm a little conflicted with this one, but I can understand where they're coming from. Alright, so before even I start, there were a lot of people that said, oh, I thought it was going to be $40, and I was listening to a lot of people on YouTube said the same thing, or people were basically saying, wait, like $40? Okay, so this is also, I'm going to say, and I don't think no one ever said the game should be $40. So whoever said that the game's supposed to be, that it's supposed to be $40, or they said it's going to be $40, kinda, you got probably misunderstood. What Mori basically said was the game will be in a reasonable price. That can be subjective, because I said it before in my previous video. Iwata, the late Iwata, God bless his soul, said the same thing with the Wii U. He said the Wii U, the SKUs will be in a reasonable price. So that is subjective. It could go in a positive way or a negative way. Of course, if you know the history what happened with the Wii U, the price wasn't reasonable enough to a point they had to do a mandatory price cut, and in a financial report, the lady Wada had said the reason why we didn't make any profit this year because the markdown of the Wii U kinda hurt us. Again, it is subjective here. Is it a bad price for $20 or for 20 characters for $50? Is that a reasonable price? Again, it is kind of hard, but you also have to put the factor of the game's development, the engine, the architect, the development of the game. So it's not just, oh, the 20 characters in the base game that should cost the game $40. I can understand where that $10 is coming from, because that's development cost. Remember, games in this time of age, in the PS4 and the Xbox One, and even to some extent to the Switch, they're more expensive to develop. They cost more money than ever, so they gotta find a way to make a profit. It never makes sense for a developer to break even in a game. I mean, Another case in point, I have to put out a Shimune 1 for the Dreamcast. They sold it for $50. It had a lot of content, voices, English voices, sailors, entertaining. But the bottom line is, it had a lot of content for $50, and that at the time there was no DLC. I think is Yuji Taka? No. Yu Suzuki, I think that's his name, the creator of Shimune. He basically said was, even so that the first game, Shimune, sold a lot on the Dreamcast. It sold many, like a lot from what I don't know how much the exact number is. According to him, they barely broke even on the game. The reason is probably the cost was so more. The $50 limitation probably didn't help them. They needed to sell more, even so it sold a lot. There you go. So this is why I can understand why they're putting in $50. You're not just paying just because of 20 characters. The development of the game, the architect of the game, the coding of they're doing, the user interface, the music, illustration, you name it. So that's probably also with the $10. And also, it could be also the English dub. Like a lot of people said, Tecmo Koei admitted it, that the English dub do cost a lot of money. That's why they start omitting them in a lot of their games, because it wasn't making them money back. Ideal Factory, it's America, even though they do English dub, to some extent it becomes partial dub. They couldn't do full dub. This America in the past, especially Neptunia Victory, had admitted, they said yeah, they couldn't really do it because the first game didn't really sell well. Same goes with the second one, so they had a cut. And Ideal Factory International admitted the same thing also. Like the Rebirth one had partial dub, kind of disappointing, but I can understand. They say the same thing. Those games don't sell because they're so niche. They're not Final Fantasy or, well, Final Fantasy, I guess. I mean, the other RPGs, they also don't sell well, but that's a different story. But yeah, so that's a $10. And also you gotta keep in mind, maybe the license. Persona 4 characters are owned by Atlas, not Arc System Works. They only develop a game for Atlas or Persona 4 Arena. That's it. Rooster Teeth, the Ruby characters, I don't think they're cheap to put in the game. Probably also license issue was a factor, so that's probably the $10 more. So just look at it this way. You can think of the game is $39, or let's just say the base game is $40, and that $10 one is a paid dub, English dub DLC. Let's just pretend, remember I keep saying it, if the money's a factor, provide a paid dub because it costs a lot of money. Just think about it, $10. So again, I may not agree with the price, but I can understand. And the reason I'm conflicted, we're going to go for the other details. So we're going to go down, of course, it's going to be on the Switch, PS4, you can download version in the eShop, the PSN store, and also in Steam. Alright, so in this part here, I'm going to highlight this, is the other information about BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. First of all, they call it the character packs. So, of course, there are 6, total of 18 characters, because that's the part of the second half, the 20 characters. So, everybody already knows, I'm just going to recap for people who don't know. Part of Ruby, Blake, and Yang are free indefinitely. So, they are free. When it's Blake, no one knows. I know from what I heard, Yang's still in development, so it'll be a while before she'll be ready. But no matter what, they are free. They're free. There you go. So the Cross Tag Character Collection, which is a.k.a. Season Pass, there will be all 6 characters packed. So again, each character is 3 characters for a pack. 3 times 6 is 18. So it will be $20. So that was right. So I guessed it right. Everybody guessed it right. The Season Pass, and that's the keyword, the Season Pass is $20. I can accept that. But if you want to buy them separately, because maybe you didn't like a lot of the characters in the pack, you can buy them, each of the character pack, for $5 each. But if you decide to do like each for $5, 5 times 5 is $25. You rather just get the season pass. Yeah, the whole point of the single pack or the individual character pack is option. It's just giving you option, but again, it's gonna cost. It's not gonna be like, let's see, well, if it's $20 divided by 6, $350. So you're just paying like $250 more to some extent, but that's how it goes. So if you want a season pass, that's how you get a discount. That's the whole point of season pass. So again, the character pass, the collection, the season pass, I can accept that. The base game for $50, again, maybe conflicted, but I do understand. I don't think it's a big deal. So if you buy the Deluxe Edition, basically Deluxe Digital Edition, which is only a download version, so there's no physical copy, it's gonna cost you $70. So it's $10 more than your common PS4 Xbox One game, or even Switch for $60. That'll be a different story about it, but if the gist of it is, if you ever still wondered, I mean, it's already been beaten to death that the reason why ever since 2005, starting with the 360, the game became $60 rather than $50, is the development was costing high. So, but again, remember, the good side for this is, and I maybe sound like a jerk because I'm not in the favor of the business, they do go down faster than before. Usually before, it takes a while for games to go down in price. Not so much this generation, so you know, I mean, no problem there. So again, like $70 if you want the season pass and the game itself. Again, season pass, good, $20 as it should be. The game base, it would be nice if it's $40, but I can understand why it's $50. So of course they introduced Character Pack 1. So let's just read this. Cross Tag Character Pack 1 was previously revealed and contained 3 new fighters joining the roster. Character Pack 1 will also be made free to all players for 2 weeks starting the game's launch of the game. Character Pack 1 joins Blake and Yang from Ruby Character DLC that will be made free for all players indefinitely. Okay, so I just recap there. Yang and Blake are free indefinitely. But yes, Character Pack 1, and Arc System were kind of known for doing this and taking advantage of it. And that is, with the game launches, they do offer a free DLC for a limited time. So if you can't get, and the best part is, if you're in PSN, you don't really need to get the game. You can just log into your PSN, where download the characters. So I'm hopefully this is the case. Switch, Steam, I don't give a care. I'm sorry, I don't give a care. I have a Switch. I play Nintendo games. That's the reason why I have the Switch. Okay, you get the point there. But I'm more concerned about the PSN store. So hopefully, even if people don't have the game, they can download Character Pack 1 for free for those 2 weeks. I've been doing it before in other Arc System Arc System War games. Guilty Gear, Rev 2, Persona, Arena, Ultimax. Kind of did that. BlazBlue AS was actually free for a while, so hopefully the same thing. If they're blocked because you need to have the game, yeah, not cool. Arc System work, not cool. Well, it's not bad, but I can understand, but not cool. Don't be Nintendo, because that's what Nintendo does. They did that with Fire Emblem Awakening, which is, yeah, they're limited for a limited time. There's a free character, but you can only get it within the game. So Nintendo, screw you. Sony, don't be like Nintendo. Okay, so it's good for the first 2 weeks of the game's launch. Character Pack 1 is going to be free, and who they are? Well, Platinum, the Trinity, which is from BlazBlue, so Lolly Girl, whatever. Kanji Tatsumi from Persona 4. He's I guess second year or first year. No, first year. My mistake. He's a first year guy, but he's a badass. And in the English, he was voiced by Troy Baker. So hopefully Troy Baker's back. But again, you know, if you're a Persona fan, there it is. And then for Yuno is Orie. So again, not really much for. I'm not really much of a under night invert. So there you go. You know, rebirth. I keep saying rebirth. The 2DM reference. So they are going to be free for the first 2 weeks, and of course, Blake Belladonna, of course, Black, free indefinitely, and Yang Xiaolong, another Ruby character, Yellow, are free. Alright, so those are the information. So yeah, so recap. Well, let's go back here. The base game is going to be $50. Understandable, but not everyone is happy. Dual language, that's English and Japanese. That's awesome. That is very, very awesome. The season pass, I'm just going to say season pass to make it easy. $20, good move. If you want to buy them separately, they're $5 a pop. Again, option. And again, if you really don't care about the DLC character, but you know you want a taste of it, whatever, for the first 2 weeks, character pack 1 is going to be free. And like I said, these are the character Platinum, that Kanji and Orie, and of course Blake and Yang are free indefinitely no matter what. So they are going in the right direction. Not so much 100%, but they are going in the right direction. But I understand because it, to some extent, also it's a business. They gotta make money. So with that, I'm going to transition to this article. Props to Destructoid. Basically, they had an interview with Mori about BlazBlue cross-stack battle. Of course, the DLC fiasco what they did. So I'm going to read it verbatimly. My computer is kind of slow, I do apologize. And I want to give my thoughts about it. So basically, $70 gets basically everything. That's the DLC and the base game. And you know, I kind of talked about it. So alright, so now they talked about the DLC controversy and what happened there. So basically, the interviewer said, yeah, fortunately your message is kind of confusing about the DLC and what happened there. And Mori basically said he admitted it. Let's just highlight that. Alright, so they basically told Mori, hey, you know, in the beginning when you announced the DLC character, it was scramble, it was a whole bubble, what happened, so what went wrong. He said, I'm in total agreement, we've been making efforts to make the price accessible for everyone. Again, like I said, they're trying to make it reasonable, but they also gotta make money. Gotta make sense. The Wii U did that, but it failed. Because the trick is, you want to give a price that kind of makes sense to the consumer, but you don't want to look like greedy to a point that said, well, we gotta make money, so no matter what, and be a dick about it. So Mori, surprisingly, so I gotta give props for him. He's not being a jerk about it, and he is in agreement. Said, yeah, we screwed up on the message. So, but we should have communicated it a lot more clearly through, so we didn't have that misunderstanding. So again, confusion there. Our first mistake was announcing Fighter Blake as DLC before saying that they were free. So apparently, again, I don't know if it's either trying to do a cover-up or whatever. My theory there is that when he said about Blake, they announced Blake as the first DLC character. Again, it's just my theory. My theory here is, I don't think they were gonna. She wasn't planned to be free DLC. They probably wanted to put her a character for $4.99. Wait, why is that $4.99 for one character while the character packs are 3 characters for $4.99? Because Blake is a new character. She was built from the ground up. The other characters are cut and paste. So when you basically develop a character from the ground up, it costs more. Because again, you gotta do the coding, the design, the architect for that character. Again, that's my theory, but then they said, oh, before she was free. Because of the backlash, maybe they said, okay, we need to fix this. Okay, we're gonna make her free. So that's my theory. I could be wrong, but whatever. Let's move on. What should have happened is that we should have said Blake is coming as DLC for free. Again, maybe it wasn't before, but they said, oh, because of the backlash, they said, okay, we'll just say that. So of course he's trying to save face because you don't want to make the company look like bad. So again, whatever. But the bottom line is she is free. But because so many events late last year and early this year, we wanted to announce things little by little. So they were trying to take step by step, but again, the timing was wrong, the order was wrong. You should have just said, oh, free DLC, Blake, there you go. Unfortunately, the first announcement was muddled. We said Blake was DLC, but we should have announced it all at once. The cost confusion and Art is very sorry for that. So again, they are taking the blame, so good job. At least you're being man about it. Alright, so of course there's a trailer for the character pack #1. So of course now they also talked about the state of the DLC the DLC. Like, people will remember, people do get pissed when you have day 1 DLC. And I'll be talking about that in a different video. Is it necessary? My opinion about it. Whether it's a fighting game or not. So Orie basically gave his opinion about these DLC characters. So we're gonna basically read this verbatimly. So for me, DLC can present a bit of a surprise for gamers. So it is a challenge, because how can you convince consumer that DLC is good? How? That's the question. It also helps games to survive in the long term. No, that's a no duh. What Orie basically said. Every company, whether you're Westerner or an Easterner company, DLC does help longevity of the game. As long as you support it, give reasons why people to go back, there you go. But at the same time, not everyone is going to agree or understand what the developers think exactly. I mean, a lot of developers do ask to be mindfulness as a developer, but as a consumer, the mostly you have to care, and I'm part of it also, so to apologize, is as a consumer, we only care the end product and how much it is. Whatever you do with the development, what you do behind the scene, to some extent, consumer to some extent don't really care. They should, but they don't. And it's gonna suck, but it's a business also. That's the flip side of the business. So, alright, so from the development side, it's hard to convince everyone, but if we listen to everyone, we'll go background. Okay, so that's a big one there, because oh boy, I did a question from the backlog battle with Alex and Anthony, and I did ask Alex, because remember at one point he used to work at Activision, so he can understand this more about it, is should the company listen to the customer? And the answer to that one is, technically, if a business should to some extent never listen to the customer. It sounds bad, but that's what a business is. But the sort of like the real truth per se, let's say that, is the company should at least try to listen to a customer and make some sort of compromise. Because what Orie was saying is true. If they just listen to the customer 100%, they're gonna go bankrupt. So the case, say with BlazBlue Cross-Tag Battle. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna buy a game until you put all 40 characters in the game and just sell it for $60. Well, if they do that, then probably the development cost is going to be high, and making it just $60, then they're not going to make any money. You know, that's the thing. And like in other games, say, you know, Tecmo Koei, screw you Tecmo Koei, but let's just say Samurai Warrior. Let's just go back. Samurai Warrior 4, because that game doesn't have a dub. So I'm gonna say, you know what? Screw you, Tecmo Koei, go to hell. I'm not gonna buy your game. I hope you go out of business, etc., 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 etc. Let's pretend, because you didn't put an English dub. Oh, so if Tecmo Koei did listen to that, they put a lot of money in and they put a dub, and the game still doesn't sell, and they end up $20, then it's probably gonna hurt them. Chances are, the game could go on a negative, and negative basically mean instead of breaking even, now you owe the company money because you spent too much and you didn't get anything back. Then you can go bankrupt. This is what Orie is saying. It's a common thing for any company, so I can understand where it's coming from when he says that they go bankrupt. It does suck that the company doesn't listen. No, well, they kind of trying to listen if it benefits both sides. I mean, Nintendo to some extent, and I'm sorry to put this up, the Chris Pranger conspiracy. He basically said, oh, Nintendo, don't you want any money? I want why don't you localize Captain Rainbow, which is a Wii exclusive game only in Japan, and to some extent Xenoblade Chronicle, because they weren't originally they were not even going to localize the game. They were just saying forget it. But people say, yeah, we want. Don't you want our money, Nintendo? I have my money here. I'm flapping in your face. What the hey? And Chris Prager said, yeah, we know you. We want your money. We know you want this game, but is it really that a lot of people want this game? Are there proof that people want this game? Is it proof that a lot of people want Captain Rainbow to be released for the Wii in the US? So that's the reason why Nintendo, to some extent, they don't listen. Because if they do listen, 80%, 90%, especially 100%, they can go background. Because what consumer wants is to get something out of nothing. What business wants is to make something out of nothing. So, consumer wants to buy something as cheap as it is. What business wants is to make more profit, but to do less resource. Anyway, like I said, I agree what Maury basically said. I might not agree with it 100%, but I can understand. So let's move on. So what we can do is try to design DLC in a way where more people are understanding about it, which is basically all we can do. I do agree with some people that DLC should be in the game to begin with, but thinking about the business side, that isn't always the case. Again, it costs money. You're the small developing team, small company. It's harder to do that versus the big one. Case in point, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS. The game is already boatload of content, and then Sakurai said, you know what? What the hey? Let's add some more characters for the fans. See, the game, in my opinion, doesn't even need DLC, but they did it anyway because they know the game's gonna be more hype. And probably they say because a lot of people said they're willing to put more money in, and some people wanted the characters like Mewtwo, Lucas, Roy. There you go. So, but a smaller company is probably going to be harder to do it. So that's what more they're saying. Alright, the last thing is, as creators, it's always fun to continue developing for a certain title, but without the game's support, it's hard. Again, same goes with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. If no one supports a game, what's the point? Yeah, you can do it for yourself as a side project, but are you making any money? Are you putting food on the table, roof in the head, clothes on the body, basically making a living? A lot of these people, you have to understand, they are making a living. It's not just, oh, I'm doing this for a project to the community. They gotta make a living. They gotta make money. That's what it is. For more people to understand what DLC stands for, we can make effort to clarify in the future how to fit into the game as a whole. Hopefully we'll create a broader perspective. Again, good answer according to this Dixtractoid editor. Maybe not a good answer, but it's understandable. Is the key of DLC is it has to make sense in the game. So, of course, yeah, there's going to be day one DLC. It's going to, no matter what day one DLC, it's always going to be bad. People see it as, oh, why can't you just put it in the game? That's not always the case, and like I said, I'm going to talk about it in a different video. But the bottom line is, in this time of age, especially in this era, DLC to some extent is necessary to support the game long and to make more money. That's what it is. Ed Boon, NetherRealm Studio, used to be Midway Chicago, admitted it. They need to put DLC. That's why Mortal Kombat 9, X, Injustice 1 and 2 have DLC. It's necessary for them. They can't do it without it. In the case with Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, yeah, they don't need DLC. What's the good thing about Nintendo is a lot of the game, you don't need DLC because the content itself is already complete. It's just they're adding more because they want to basically support the fan. But different company, different perspective, different folks, different strokes. So, yeah. So, yeah, do I agree with what Maury said? Some of it, yes, I understand the business part. But at the same time, it's like, you can't make it look like that you're greedy, that we gotta make money. No matter what, we gotta make money. So, the last thing I think here is, so basically, they're talking about the development of Cross-Stack Battle. Coming for the Switch, well, yeah, sorry, Rob. I mean, it's good on the Switch. I was going to talk about it, but Okay, that's not really that important. And yeah, there you go. All right, so yeah, so yeah, he did talk about the Switch. He said it was a little tricky, but again, you got options. So if you have a Switch only console, there you go. If you only have a computer, because Steam is better than PS4, there you go. But then PS4, there you go. It doesn't matter. Option is there. So like I was saying here is that yeah, I do agree with Maureen. Part of his business procedure, partially, but at the same time, I don't agree with how they do it. Again, I still don't agree that this game to be released in June the 5th because you need more exposure and Evo does it. But I can understand why they're doing it. And this article here, their interview basically said it. And the bottom line is, and this is about the DLC, why he said it's necessary. Yeah, a lot of people said, wow, I guess Mori doesn't have faith in his own game. It's BlazBlue that has DLC. Well, if your game technically goes into clearance within a year or even before that, and you don't make money back, then the fate of his games, he's just being realistic, so I don't know what to say that. So yeah, that's why he needed to do DLC. So why not just put all 40 characters in the game and make it $60? He basically said it to some extent. He probably could have, but again, he needed that exposure and be on Evo so it has more sale. Again, the thing is, I hate to say it, the point is that Mori is acknowledging that one, Arc System games don't sell. They're good. Like I said, they're good, they're fun. They're a niche. They're not Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, or Tekken. They're anime game. Fun, beautiful graphics or whatever. I like anime. They don't sell. Mori is already well aware of that. That's the reason why he's doing this. He's trying to find a way to make it that so people will buy the game. Because most people, believe it or not, unless you're a hardcore BlazBlue fan, I'm a fan, but I'm not really the hardcore. I bought them on under $30 per se. So it tells me something. There you go. They won't. But more he wants is people to buy the game at full price. Because when you buy a game on a discount price, they don't make a lot of money back. Also because of the basically of how the procedure works. They get whatever percent cut to how much the retail, distribution, etc. works. So if they're selling at a higher price, they make more money. They gotta make money, and they're not making money. That's the reason why. When you say, "Well, he doesn't have any faith in the game," yeah, to some extent, I hate to say it, he probably doesn't. Good it may be. I mean, in his video about Road to Evo, like I said, he did a quote that kind of concerned people. Please pre-order the game. He said it like 3 times. It does tell you what it means about this game. It tells you what's going on. The point is, a lot of these Arc System Work games, they can't say it's $60 because retailers say, well, nobody's buying them. They're waiting for prices. Well, we got no choice. Price drop. Only Nintendo sort of get away with it with their BS green evergreen strategy, which is kind of BS. It's BS because in the long run, games should go long. It should go down in price. But the counter argument is why the game's still good. Because it's old. What do you want me to say? It's old. So the older the game is, then it eventually should go down the price. Just my opinion there. So there you have it. So finally, my computer's slow. Really so slow. Oh my gosh. Why did I click back to the first screen? Whatever. Anyway, like I said, there you go. Those are my thoughts about it. So, like I said, it is going in the right direction. I may not agree with some part of how they basically proceed this game, the DLC, the pricing of the game. I later basically acknowledging that, yeah, we're trying to make this game sell. We're trying to make profit for this game. That's the reason why this and that price. But at least the good thing is it has full English dub. That's the most important thing for me as a casual fan who not interested with the FGC. I just want to play this for fun. For fun. Smash Brother. That's for me. The English dub, it's a good answer for me so I can keep up. I don't need to bother with the emotion. That's the reason why some people say they like the Japanese sub. You get more emotion. What have, dude? So I didn't understand the story, which is, again, will be interesting. There is story mode. That's also the key word. It has to have a lot of content. Even so, a lot of these characters are cut and paste, because it is a basically crossover fan service. Kind of like Capcom vs. SNK series and the Marvel vs. Capcom series. They are, to some extent, are just cut and paste, except for the Ruby characters. So yeah, like, so the price I can understand. I don't agree with it, but I can understand. The DLC, the season pass is good. The visual pack kind of makes sense because versus a character for $5.99, hell, excuse the language, $7.99, $8.99 for the newer games. So again, because it is cut and paste, and they are offering Yang and Blake for free indefinitely. And the first character pack, they're already saying it, will be free for the first 2 weeks. And Sony and Arc System work, I better can get it on the store without getting the game. Okay, because I am going to get the game eventually. But don't be Nintendo putting it in a paid wall by you have to get the game. That's douchey. That's douchey in my opinion. That is douchey. So with the English dub, of course, the new question for me is, what about BlazBlue Central Fiction? Will it have a paid DLC? English dub, or are they gonna do a revamped version? Even so, that Orie did say in the past that they were not planning. And again, everything can change. You know, situation can change. That he was hoping to not plan to have an extended version, but who knows? And as well with Daisuke. Hey Daisuke, the creator, the director of Guilty Gear, Rev 2 English dub. When? Or is it gonna be Rev 3? Is it gonna be Rev 3? Or Rev 2, the conclusion, whatever, English dub, who knows? Yeah, epic discussion here, I know. So hopefully, this is going to be the last time I'm going to talk about BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Hopefully, because, yeah, but I had to get it off my chest. I love the opinion, my personal opinion, so I do apologize if this is going long, but I have to talk about everything. I might do like a shorter version for it, like just what it is, but it is more of a big discussion I have to do this. So yeah, those are my thoughts about what the information for BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So with that, thanks for listening.